today's we are talking about new features of Monday.com. So our first feature is new compact view in the automation center. So let's go to my Monday.com screen now. Okay, so I'm just taking this board as an example, which I used it in my past demo because I wanted to show you this feature. Because it's automation related, all of you know that automation center is right here. So if I can click on that, and this was like previously you could see all the automations here, but now Monday.com has also given us compact view. Because what happens that, so for example, on this screen now there are like more than three of like there are 6 active automations, right? But on the screen I can see only 3. Of course I can zoom in, zoom out, but then also like the text readability is also an issue. So let me just. So what Monday.com did is actually in the automation center, they introduced this compact view. So basically, if you click on that, it's just a list view because it's just compacts everything in the table format. And it's better because you can actually see what are your automation. Then if you have any description, that also is here. If it's an integration connected to the app, it also appears here. And then all the actions in the last 10 days. Also the owner who has built these automation. Now in this case, a Monday_client has built this automation, and when it is updated and the current status, and then you have the edit pane also. So this is really good. When I have mostly, if there are 2 or 3 automation, it's fine. But let's say if there are like some of my clients, they have like 30 automations. It's like very complex board connected to several boards, mirror columns and things like that. So then I always change this to compact view so that we can see, we can have a look at each automation. And of course you have a search bar here to search any automation, and also the filter here. Okay, so this was very helpful. That was the request by some of the clients. So Monday.com introduced that compact view for automation and integration. Okay. Now going back, another feature is move workspaces between the products. Okay. So all of you are familiar with Monday.com, what is workspace and what is product. Let me just skip a little bit recap. So this is the workspace. You always have main workspace with this home symbol that indicates that this is main workspace. So, and anything in this workspace is accessible with by everyone in the account, right? And if you don't want them to access, then you have other workspaces like open workspaces, closed workspaces, which is private workspace and things like that, where you will have to actually invite that particular license holder, and then they can see what's internal, what is there in that workspace. Because if particular workspace is locked, and if I don't have access, basically, then I cannot see anything inside. So for example, there are some workspaces which has log, and if I'm not a member of that workspace, then I cannot see what's inside the workspace, all these things. Okay, so now we understood workspace is nothing but a place where all your Monday artifacts like board, dashboard, work doc resides. Now, before this, and also, this Monday has several products which you can access from here. When Monday started, they only have Monday work management, right, where you manage your work. But now Monday also have CRM, then Monday has Monday Dev. Also, uh, yeah, also there is another one which is integration, which is Work Canvas. But these are the several. Then there is Monday Project Manage, Monday Project, right? There are, if you explore more, so these are the products. Okay, these are already added, so it's showing me that. Now they are saying that Monday recently introduced that Workspace can be now we can move the workspaces between the products. So before this, it was not possible, but now, because it's the same, Monday.com is just a one platform, right? So there were several requests, because what happened is, actually, before, you only have work management, and then people then they introduce CRM and other products. But then earlier, all the clients like you and me, when we started when Monday.com was launched, right? So we have some workflows in the main work management platform. So now what we can do, so with Monday now, we can move this entire workspace in CRM. Before this, because CRM was built differently, it needed all the licenses. The boards were also built differently. So before this, it was not possible. But now with this feature, so even if this workspace is in work management, I have a capacity to move into my sales CRM. So if I select this, let me actually go to another workspace. So this is my personal workspace, and if I can move it to entire workspace got moved to sales, and if I want back, I can also move it back to work management. So this made life a little bit easier, because so now you don't have to create everything in the CRM workspace, CRM product. You just have to move the workspace from one product to another product. So that's helpful. Okay. Then we have another one, which is customize your Gantt charts fiscal year. Okay. So let's go to the project board and see what is this feature about. Just picking any project board. Okay. Which has, because for Gantt chart, you need timeline column. That's very important. So this is one of the project which has timeline. And then all of you know that how basically this is my main board. Okay. And I have some, this is I just picked it up from the board template center. So this is the board, typical project management board, where we have timeline, duration, dependencies, and status. And then there is a Gantt chart here. How you add the Gantt chart? You can directly add it from here. There is a Gantt chart view. Just have to click and add it here. So the moment you add Gantt chart, all of this data which I have here gets now converted to this particular Gantt chart over here in the Gantt chart format. Basically, it projects your data into the Gantt chart view. Okay, so this is how it looks. So you can see all these tasks. Because we have dependency, you can see how these tasks are dependent on each other. If I move, everything gets moved because it's a strict dependency. I have it. Okay, so this is the Gantt chart. So by default, Monday adds everything in the settings, but of course we have ability to change also in the settings. So that's the beauty of monday.com. It never lets you start from the scratch, because that's hard, right? Those who are new to monday.com, they don't know how to adjust the settings. So monday.com always uses default setting, and it try to pick some column and give you the picture. And then of course, if you go to settings, then it becomes easier for you to understand, oh, okay, so timeline column is chosen. But if you want another date column, definitely you can choose another one. But for start, monday.com always used a default setting, and I love that, because some of the clients, they are not used to Monday, or some of the client, they are just starting some new processes, right? So this is really helpful. Okay, so what they introduced is over here. So fiscal year, I'm going to go into, you can see also the user interface is so great that it actually tells you that this is new, and my our curious mind will always go and check. So that's good. So this is fiscal year they introduced. So before this, actually, there were no way that we could choose this, because it used to assume that the year is January. But some of the organization, even if we are in North America, some of the organization, they do have a fiscal year which is different fiscal year from January. Of course, Eastern world has a fiscal year which is start from March, but North America mostly it's January. But then so basically, according to what you follow, what your organization follow, you can have a different fiscal year depending on what's your case study, right? So then we can have March or April, or recently I came across a client who had the fiscal year like June, right? And then you can set the years to July 2024. So this was helpful, because the people who didn't have January start, they were stuck with this like Q1, Q2, Q3, right? Because when you say my fiscal year is January, then your Q1 becomes, so you see how it's changing. It's amazing. So because then your Q1, Q2, Q3 changes, right? So now if I change it to April, okay, so your fiscal year starts Q1. So your all charts which you're looking at, the data remains same, because it's the same data on your board. But the way you're looking at it, the way it's projecting, that's and most of the time that matters, right? Because you want to see your data, or you want to see especially the chart. When you're looking at the table view, it's fine. But when you're looking at the chart, if your fiscal year is particular month, then definitely you want to start your chart like that, right? So that's really helpful. Again, this was a feature request from clients like you and me. And monday.com is very good in tracking the feature request. They have a separate page which says submit an idea, and they have a superb organization managing the superb way of managing those requests, because the way they track those requests, they actually, one person sits and actually, because I know because I've spoken to the internal team, that how do you guys do this? So they actually told me they have one person who actually segregates all the requests into one bucket. So if you, for example, if you submit an idea about some Gantt chart, right? So one person actually tags all the requests, and maybe it just tags like Gantt chart. And then they segregate those requests, and then one by one they look at it, and then they actually, if it is a request which is hit, which is very popular request, because people can vote on that request. Clients like you and me, end users like you and me, can vote on that request. And depending on how important that feature, and if it's an easy fix for Monday tech team also, right? Because some of the features are like very quick. They just have to tweak something in the back end, right? So those requests are like immediately they are followed up, and then they also mention if your request is in the pipeline, then they mention that in on the roadmap or not on the roadmap or long-term roadmap, something like that. So I request all of you to, if you have any serious request, then definitely use that feature request. Okay. Going back. Now our last new feature is sub-item column state as an automation condition. Okay, so we are going to automation now, which is here. Okay, so they added a new block of automation into custom automation. So now, just to give you background, as I assume that all of you know what is automation. Now, automation is a no code statement where you and me can build for our board, which actually consists of trigger and the action. So for example, in this automation, this is my trigger, meaning when status changes to done. So this is true for all the time. Maybe it's today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or 5 days ago, whenever that status changes to done, and then. So you have to always read like, this is my trigger. So whenever this, because in the backend is nothing but a programming, right? But you are not actually writing any code because it's layman language, normal English you're writing. When status changes to done, set completion date to current date. So, and then this is called trigger, meaning this is called action. When status changes to done is a trigger, and then you have this action, which is set completion date. So now they introduce a new automation block just for sub item. So let's see what it is. So I'm going into the custom block, right? So Monday also has, just for your knowledge, Monday also has some templates of automation. Just like template boards, they also have automation which are actually readily available. So it's for you, it's just like fill in the blanks, right? So because these are actual columns, so it's readily, so first of all, you're not writing any code. Then you have the automation also readily available, and then you are only just filling the blanks. So Monday has made us so easy because they have several templates here. But of course, you can also build the customized automation. So for this one, I'm using the customized automation. So now going back here, sub-item column state as an automation condition, meaning so it's based on sub-item. So before this, we didn't have any sub-item condition automation. So this one is also newly introduced when sub-item is created, because we had this when item is created, and that was very helpful because all my default conditions or anything, when my item gets created, this should happen. So and so person should be assigned. When my item gets created, I want today's date on one particular date column. But then we were not able to do this for sub-item, right? Because we didn't have that. But Monday because sub-item was in beta, and now slowly Monday is also adding more and more things which we could do with sub-item. So that's good. So now we also have this when sub-item is created. And then you can also add another trigger, because you can have n number of triggers, and and only if status is something. So then I can have like sub-item status also, right? So they have like several block which is created only for sub item, and I can have like change status to, or like it can be more meaningful. I'm just now let me see. Set date. Okay. So you can actually use the sub item creation automation, right? Because now they do have more blocks for sub item. You can see how you know that particular automation is supported for sub item too, because all the automations are not actually, if you see, the all automations are not actually supported for sub items. There are some which are supported. So if you click on sub items, these are all sub items automation. And so whenever you click on any automation, there is this pop-up also here, like support sub item. So that means this automation is supported for sub items too. Meaning, what is supported by sub item? Meaning you can actually pick up some columns from sub item. Because if it is not supported by so for example, let me show you. Okay, so this one, let me see. When an item is created, then assign creator as person. So you see now it's not showing me the sub item. Okay, so that means this one is not supported. So if you want to go into the automations which are for sub item, because of course all the boards doesn't have sub items, right? So, but if you have sub items, and if you know that you want some automation for those sub items too, you go into here and you directly come here. So there are several ones actually. And this list is actually increasing because Monday is adding more and more, by the way.